Yo, what up, fam? It's Nick here, living rich, and I am driving today to go see some family down in Poway, or close friends, I guess. Basically family. Anyways, today I had a question from one of my listeners a few days ago that was asking about one of the books that I got off RSD and why it was so expensive, and kind of inspired me to create a video on sourcing information, because you want to better yourself, you want to get the highest quality information, but at the same time you don't want to break the bank, so to say, doing so. And depending on what stage in life you're at, you may have more money or less money or no money to get books. So here are a few quick tips and suggestions on how to get some high quality information into your life. So the first thing that I like is excuse me, it's a merging area right here. Podcasts. If you get a high quality podcast in the genre of information that you're into, whether it's The Art of Charm's a good one that I liked to listen to back, maybe about a year ago. And what's really cool about if you get a good podcast like The Art of Charm, you'll get a lot of really good book recommendations that you can get from that. And the podcast is free. All you need is basically the technology, the mobile phone, or whatever you got, or laptop, computer, to have access to it, or even just go to a library. Another one is Audible. Audible.com or Audible Books. It's a subsidiary of Amazon, and what's cool about that is you pay $15 a month and you get one audiobook, and audiobooks can range anywhere from $12 to like $45 depending on the audiobook that you get. And you can get really long audiobooks, really expensive audiobooks that you would have had to otherwise pay an arm and a leg for, and you can get those for $15 flat. I really like that just because it's a system that kind of puts into place that I'm going to be reading or listening to these audiobooks, and it's almost like an obligation to myself to do so, because you're paying, you're investing that money in listening to audiobooks, and you might as well take advantage of it because you've already sunk $15 a month into that. They also have other audio programs, business programs, channels for free on there, and that's another good way I like to get information. So 1 is podcast, 2 Audible, 3 I would say is YouTube. YouTube, you can find a lot of good quality information. There are a lot of content creators out there who source a lot of their information from good books, and they'll often have book reviews. I do some book reviews on my channel, or they'll have like a personal experience knowledge, or whatever, just good information to take advantage of. And let's see if I can stabilize this out by holding it, because apparently on the dashboard it's not so stable. And it's raining right now like a beast. So 1, we have podcasts, 2, we have Audible, 3, we have YouTube, and then 4, we have a program called Overdrive, and a lot of times through your local library you could you can rent audiobooks for free. This is fucking badass. The biggest downfall about this system is that the selection is limited and you can't get every book you want at any time you want. You kind of have to wait till the book is available. And in doing so, you know, you may have to like choose another book. But I've searched through like the you know, self-help or history or different genres of the library books and found some really good books that I've listened to. Also, the library is great for getting books to read. So number 4 would be library. Okay, so back to it. Number 1, we have the podcast. 2 is Audible. And for all intents and purposes, Audible is my main audio book, my main book or information source. I ride a bike a lot, and I just throw in my headphones and I listen to Audible, and you know, I end up listening to, you know, 1 or 2 books a month, depending on the size of them, and I generally aim for like longer, more grandiose books. So number 3 is YouTube. A solid content creator from YouTube can give you a lot of information that's one from the books and mixed in with personal experience. And then 4 is the local library and their audiobook program that they have, and you can do that by checking in at your library and asking them, and they'll give you all the information you need. Number 5, I want to add in personal experience. I think a lot of times we depend so much on external experience that we don't recognize the value of our own experience. We don't recognize that everybody that has written a book has done so, or at least a book of quality has done so from information that's come from their own personal experience. And what's really cool about personal experience is, you know, you're already having it. It's there. And so a few ways you can take advantage of that to kind of like process that or read into that is just like taking, you know, some quiet meditation or a quiet evening, relaxing and allowing that information to kind of assimilate into your brain and reflecting on your day or on your life experience. And growing from that. And I think in the end, that's going to be more valuable than any book you're going to read. I think books are good for pointing you in the right direction, but at the end of the day, you have to take your personal experience and build off of that. And so the order of these are not by importance at all, but it's more by just what came to my mind first. And boy, it is starting to rain for San Diego at least. And I wanted to put this at the beginning, which is why you would want to source good information for a good price. And basically it's because you want to be, if you want to be a coherent human being who's able to maneuver throughout the world in a lucid manner, it would behoove you, unless you're like super aware, super self-aware, and even if you are super self-aware, to get to know what other people think, interact with the world, learn from people who are better than you. And a lot of times people who write books in their specific field are better than you in that field. Maybe not better than you as a person, but you know, they're really good in their whatever field of science or whatever, and it'll give you some perspective and depth and backing knowledge to decisions you make, conversations you have, and how you see the world could be expanded greatly to your advantage and to the advantage of people around you by reading. So that's why. So we do it we do it to be better people, basically, or to truly be human, because a single human is not a human without the humanity of everyone around. I don't know if I put that right, or I put that clearly, but a human is an integral part of the society, of the rest of the humans in the environment that they're in, at least 50%. So, a lot of times you have what you can do as a person and who you hang out with, where those two intermix. And I consider hanging out with people also like the quality of information, because it's basically like if you're listening to something on an audiobook or through YouTube or whatever, the quality of that information or the quality of the people you're listening to, or the source it comes from, is about, it's like a simulated version of you hanging out with someone and having a conversation. And so you want to have the best quality of information you can. And a lot of times these more shallow news sources, they focus on very ethereal subjects that change very quickly, and they're just very situational, and they're not causational. And the cool thing about books is they usually, if they're a good book, it'll focus on the cause of situations and not the surface level primarily. It'll acknowledge the surface level, and then it'll talk about the cause, or talk around the cause in order to highlight it and make it more real. So, depending on who you want to be or how you want to be as a person, I think that's how you would choose your media. And personally, I like deep, in-depth, thoroughly written, and high quality, clear, very crystal clear information, lucid information that is, you're able to understand why they're talking about it, what they're talking about it, and how to implement it in your own life, or maybe even just why. But I like the highest quality information, like I like the highest quality food. It's kind of like that. So, in order to stop rambling now, I am going to wrap up this video and focus on driving. The 4 sources I like, besides just buying books, which I absolutely do. If it's a really good book and I want something tactile, if I heard really, really good recommendations about it, and I want it tactile in my hands to read it in person, I will definitely buy it. I usually go to Amazon.com, buy used. I don't think I've ever really bought I haven't bought many new books. I bought a few, but those were more just because they weren't that much more, or I was at like a bookstore or something and I wanted it right then. But Amazon, you'll usually get a discounted price on the new book for the used book, and it'll be good for your brain. Alright, now that's all. That was my video for you, to help you with sourcing good information and helping your lifelong learning pursuits. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And once again, it was quality podcasts, quality books on audible.com. Your local library, audiobook store, your local library's audiobook app, and just books from your library. A lot of times you can get really quality information on YouTube, even book summaries on YouTube. and then your personal experience is another great source of information. So that was my video for the day. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you go out in the world, live expansively, and I really hope you the reason why I do these channels or these videos is to give you the inspiration and the tools to make this world a true democracy, to make this world, to have your vote, to have your intention in your life as your vote of what you want this world to be. Because it's so easy to just be so apathetic and be like, oh, the corporations have no control, or the corporations have all the control, and like the government has all the control, or all the rich people have the control, and to not take responsibility. And this is why I'm making the videos, so we can change that and put the responsibility back in your hands and in your hearts, and create the world and the dream and the life that we want to live in. So yeah, hope you enjoy this. Thanks for watching. Peace.